We received an anonymous listener dilemma and it's a good one. It reads, a friend in her 30s is going through a divorce. Her soon-to-be ex-husband met another woman at work and has left their 14-year marriage to go and be with the new woman. My friend has so much vitriol for the other woman, but nowhere near as much for the husband who is leaving her. She is planning ways to shame her in public and ensure all the people involved in this situation hate this other woman. Obviously, not great. My view, which I didn't share with my friend as I'm nothing but supportive, is that he cheated on her, not this other woman. The other woman is nothing but an accessory to his crimes. My question is, knowing everything we know about monogamy and modern day relationships and the complexities of long-term relationships, why is the other woman still held up as the poster girl for all the blame in these situations? Am I wrong? Discuss.
Sorry, particularly my throat.
That's okay.
Look, I think it's because there's an understanding that boys will be boys and men have needs and seeds must be sown and biology and destiny, and that's what they're programmed to do. But the betrayal of a woman to a woman is somehow, even if it's a woman she doesn't know, somehow bigger than the betrayal of a husband to a wife or
like
a
the sisterhood
man to a woman.
is stronger than marriage vows.
Which is bonkers. So somehow we were more angry at Angelina Jolie for betraying Jennifer Aniston.
Yep.
And Camilla.
And Camilla, exactly, and Blanche Delpuget for betraying Hazel Hawke than we were at and even Monica Lewinsky at betraying Hillary Clinton than we were at Bill Clinton, Bob Hawke, all of these men who cheated. And it makes no sense, especially when these women don't even know the other woman.
I reckon that it speaks to a sense that all of us have, which is a fear or an undercurrent of knowledge that the men we're with will probably cheat on us, and that women will always be the gatekeepers of male sexuality. Male sexuality cannot be restrained. It can't, this is the way that we think, and therefore it is the job of women you don't know, women you do know, friends, family, to put their tits away and wear a long skirt.
Yeah,
because this poor man, he can't control
Well, it's
himself.
like we've all got to stand together in the face of this uncontrollable male sexuality
desire
that just can't be helped.
And intellectually, I know that. Emotionally, I effing hate the other woman.
Exactly.
I have been in this position and obsessed over the other woman. And I think, and I understand the person who's at the center of this, because we are taught as women to always be in competition with other women, and what just happened was another woman won. And I have felt that.
Also that there's a scarcity of men.
Yes,
and
exactly.
We must compete.
And therefore, I'm going through a crisis of identity because I am uglier and I am worth less, and he doesn't want to have sex with me. All really sexist crap. But I think it's deeply emotional in that way, and that anger is energizing. When I was obsessed with that other woman, I was not sleeping. I was stalking. I was talking. I was so invigorated by my anger that I could not sit with the despair of knowing that I had made a mistake, which was to trust the person I was with. That's a way worse feeling than anger.
Do you want to be?
You've just I'm sorry to interrupt you again.
Okay.
I blame myself.
But you just listen to what you just said. You just said, I shouldn't have been angry at her. I should have been angry at myself. You still haven't got to him.
No.
Because it's easier at the time, probably not in the long term, but it feels safer for you to be that angry person and to be empowered by that rage than it is to look the pain of the situation in the face, take the time you need, sit down and just cry and grieve and
What about raging against him?
I think that it's easier.
That's
It's exactly
And too confronting.
why I think we are hard on the other woman in this way is typically they're anonymous to us. So it's not always, but usually you don't know them. And that's a blank canvas of a person to imagine all the very worst personality traits about. So you can assassinate their character, a person, a fictionalized version of this person that you don't know, that doesn't exist. And it's so much harder to transform the idea of a person you know intimately and who you love and then be angry at them. You can make excuses for someone you know. You can't make excuses for the anonymous.
Funnily enough, this week I interviewed a woman who discovered that her husband had been cheating on her with her best friend.
Oh, my God.
And
I think you're allowed to be angry at both in that situation.
she was angry at both, but many years later, she's never spoken to the best friend again.
Uh-huh.
And she stayed with her husband for a really long time and they're now good friends.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think that's uncommon. And there's a few things going on. I reckon that when that happens, often you are only privy to one perspective. So because you are in a monogamous relationship, it is very rare that you would tell them to F off and cut contact. Generally, there will be a lot of conversations, a lot of excuses, a lot of explanation. You're not talking to the other woman, so you're not getting her side of things. But it's funny. I was thinking about the term the other woman and how there is no male equivalent. There is no the other man. I don't think we'd know what we were talking about. And homewrecker is so gendered. That, again, is the idea that a woman comes in and breaks up a man who is happily
He's a victim, really.
with his
He's a
wife and
victim.
children, and you've come in again with your breasts out and your G-string on,
Away.
put him away with your sexuality, you're humping the air, and his penis fell in.
Yeah,
Your
dude.
homewrecker.
Oh, there it goes. I think that
What do we say to our listener, our reader?
Okay,
our
so
listener?
what I want to say to our listener, the public shaming thing, we've got to get a handle on that. We
It's not gonna
cannot
end well.
let this friend do the public shaming thing of the other woman
But you know why that is, right?
because she wants to ruin her husband's life.
No, she wants to.
Well, she's going to ruin both of their lives, but it's
Well,
not going to be helpful.
No, because what she wants to also do is burn the bridge behind her husband so that he can't go back there.
I mean,
So-
it's very permanent, but I think that there has to be like a solution.
I don't mean she should, but I mean, I think that the instinct is if you want to try to preserve your relationship,
Yep.
you want to make sure that
You
they don't
destroy
ever
her.
go back there. So by destroying him, you're potentially destroying the father of your children,
Yeah.
your partner, and it reflects on you. But if you outsource all your anger to a third party, you can keep it doesn't reflect on you so much.
Yeah. She's probably going to be too rage-filled to want to see this side, but if we can for a moment try to humor the other woman. Who is she? What does she know about the wife? She's only getting one version, and that's from the guy that she's sleeping with. Does she even know that there's a wife? If she does, this guy could be saying to her, oh, we've been miserable for years.
We're separated.
We're
Leave
separated.
her.
We're practically already divorced. She's seeing other people. She treats me like this and
She
that.
refuses to have sex with me.
The other woman could be an innocent party in all of this and have been lied to as well. And chances are that the husband, not a super
What do you
trustworthy
think?
dude.
Going to put this on the table. What do you think about her reaching out, or in any situation reaching out to the other woman and getting the information that you need, and maybe it ends up humanizing her a bit? So
Yep.
if she's got so much anger, if there's information that she feels like she needs to know, if there's a conversation she feels she needs to have in order to get closure, then could that happen privately, or do we think that you should never reach out to the other woman?
So over the summer break, I read Helen Garner's diaries.
Yeah.
And her diaries, it's in 3 volumes, and the I think the second volume or third volume is around a period in the 80s where she was married to a quite well-known author who she doesn't name. And he basically gaslights her throughout a long period of their marriage for years about this other woman that he says is just a friend. And then in the end, she discovers proof, contacts the other woman who she knows, and they talk and discover exactly that. And the other woman's like, I had no idea. Like, this is what
Yeah.
he told me about your relationship.
Yeah.
And this is what he told me about you. And so he told one of them that the other one hated her, and the other, so he did all this stuff. And it was only by talking to each other, not that they were going to become firm friends ever, but talking to each other without anger or rancor, that they worked out who their common enemy was.
Can she write a letter? Like if she writes a letter to the other woman, She can be as rageful as she wants, I guess, without causing any real damage. Also, when you're confronted by the words on the page,
You often don't
it
send
kind
it.
of tempers you a little bit, or you don't send it, or you write a different version, and then maybe leaves it open-ended. Is there an opportunity for reply that she decides to give?
And if I was the friend, I'd be saying, what's the end goal here? Because the public shaming of her isn't going to get you feeling, it's not going to make you feel any better.
Also,
and it's going to make you look petty.
Absolutely.
And all you can do is behave in a way that's consistent with your own morals. So I'd probably be asking her that. But I also think that women, you need a moment to put your feminist ideology aside and your rationality and just have a big old bitch. If she wants to say 10 things that are not lovely about that woman to a friend in private, be the listening ear.
Just don't put it on the internet.
She
don't
probably has friends in her life who've been the other woman, and she could probably benefit greatly from hearing their perspective. So I don't know. Ask your friends, like, have you been the other woman? What was it actually like?
Outlouders, we're sure that there are those among you who've been the first woman, the other woman. There are those of you who've had another man.
Yep.
We want to hear from you. How should people talk to us? Like, tell us about your experiences, your viewpoint.